Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm Lauren Walker. I am Senior Director of Strategy here at Inman, and I'm really excited to talk today about something that's really important to our audience, to you, and we know that because of what you're sharing and what you're researching. Today, I get to welcome Mac Hill to the hot seat. Mac is the Customer Advocacy and Influencer Manager at Boomtown with an
Quite a
exclamation
mouthful.
mark.
Yeah.
Mac, thank you very much for being here.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, Lauren. I'm really excited to be here and just share some of the things that I've learned over the past 8 years at Boomtown. So, yeah, I'm nervous for some of the questions you're going to ask, but I'm sure they'll be good and they'll evolve into a nice little conversation.
That's the goal. I will be gentle, I promise. Yeah, well, I mean, this is a topic you guys know a lot about.
Yeah.
It's leads, and we joke that lead is like a four-letter word, right? Because it gets agents really excited.
Yes.
It can be a polarizing topic in a lot of ways, but I think what Boomtown and what is important to you guys kind of shows that not all leads are created equal. So we want to talk about that today and talk about this idea that timing really matters when it comes to leads, which I think is really interesting. So we're going to talk about that, talk about generating and converting leads and what agents and brokers need to know as they plan for 2020, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, well,
On all the things that are
let's
going
get
on.
into it. Yeah, let's talk about what does the landscape look like today for when it comes to leads?
Yeah, so we're seeing things constantly evolve. I'm sure in your seat at Inman, you're constantly seeing what's happening at a bird's eye view, and we have a unique opportunity as well, working with a lot of top real estate organizations across the country to sort of see what their perceptions are and how they're feeling about different lead sources and what's going on. So yeah, things continue to evolve while still staying a bit the same. When it comes to sort of how we traditionally generate leads for our clients at Boomtown, with that top of funnel pay-per-click type approach, still very targeted and direct. You're trying to get to the consumer first and foremost. Obviously, things are starting to change drastically with the portals like Zillow and Realtor.com, and a lot of our clients continue to invest in those sources. But one mantra tends to stay true, and that's that the diversity of lead sources is going to be really important to creating a very thriving pipeline for your business. So that's a big thing. Also, we see that the perception towards online leads has evolved in a more positive way over the past few years, which is good and very important because it is a very viable source of business in 2019 going into 2020. So those are the main things, really. Just our top clients tend to see that they are diversifying their lead sources and then really having an open mind into how they're generating and converting their online leads and evolve their practices with those sources as well.
Yeah, so talk a little bit more about that. You've got me intrigued in this idea of diversifying your sources. Why does that matter? Why is that really important?
Yeah, so creating a predictable sales business model, you can't just rely on a single source because the landscape of real estate is going to continue to change. We see it with Zillow right now. They're trying to transition to more of a referral-based model and provide a little bit more of a transaction-ready lead. So you got to continue to stay in good graces with Zillow to receive those opportunities. But to really feed your pipeline and create a predictable business model, you need to be investing in some top of funnel leads as well. For example, your Google pay-per-click and your Facebook leads, we tend to describe those as top of funnel because it's the beginning of the inquiry process or the search process when someone's starting to learn more about real estate. So the difficulty there is that you've got to try and filter through maybe more leads or spend more time trying to nurture them. But the advantage is that you have an opportunity to connect with them before anyone else. So you need to be mixing in some top of funnel, some mid funnel leads like a Zillow, Realtor.com, and then of course continue to hammer your sphere and your referral network there. So past clients, for example. So really mixing it up between those different stages of the funnel to make sure you're creating a predictable sales model.
Sure, that makes a lot of sense. And when we think about the funnel, that the shape of it really matters, right? And so that top of funnel is super wide. And so if you're limiting yourself to one source,
yeah,
you're not going to get that breakdown, right, as people come through it.
Right. And, we've got a pretty cool team here at Boomtown on the data side of the house that studies a lot of our clients' businesses as well as our business. And, they've sort of seen a compound effect when it comes to the size of a client's database. I wrote some numbers down here, so I'm going to refer them real quick. But, basically they saw that clients that had around 1,000 leads, their average production volume was about 14 million. When you get to that 10 to 30,000 range, it was about close to 45 million in average production volume. And then when you breach that 100,000 threshold of leads, the clients are producing over 220 million in production. So I think that says the more you can do to bring leads into your database, top of funnel, mid funnel, of course, continuing to work your sphere and referral business, the more likely you are to have a high producing, very successful real estate business.
Right. So, they're not doing this manually. They're not just getting emails in the door. So how does technology play a role?
Yeah, so obviously you run into scaling issues when you get to 10,000 leads, especially so when you're at 100,000 leads. So you need to really be leaning on some sort of technology to help with the follow-up and nurturing of the lead. So that's the first step. So you receive a new lead. How do you create a consistent nurture process where you're giving each lead equal opportunity to get to know you and what you have to offer? On top of that, as your database becomes massive, how are you going to know which leads to reach out to at the right time? So ideally, you've got some sort of analytical tool that identifies a lead in your database as being more active and showing signs that they're ready to potentially buy or sell a home. So, you need to do those things exceptionally well. So I tend to think that you gotta stay on top of that stuff.
Right. I was waiting for the word timing to come out because that's kind of what we were talking about. And
Yes.
so what are the factors that inform that behavior? How do they know when is the right time?
Yeah. So for Boomtown clients in particular, since that's what I know, we'll speak to their situation. We leverage a lot of tools on the back end to track consumer behavior when they're within the Boomtown ecosystem. So we're driving clients or driving leads to a Boomtown client's website, analyzing all of their behavior, and if they start to show signs such as they're looking at a single property multiple times, they've started searching again after being dormant for a period of time, they've started to favorite homes in a specific area. Those are all indications that this person may be becoming more of a hot buyer or hot seller, as opposed to being just another lead in the database. So coupling that type of predictive technology to identify these opportunities is really valuable, in addition to a CRM that's going to help basically manage and automate a lot of the nurture process, the qualify process when leads are coming in the front door.
Right. That nurture section of the relationship is really critical, probably more so now than ever before.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about how agents can couple that in real life nurturing, where you just see people in your sphere of influence, versus how are they using tools? How are they automating that?
Yeah. So, it's going to become, again, a big scaling issue if you start to receive even 100 leads a month. Your database is going to continue to grow and compound, and you're going to have a hard time keeping up with them. So, tools that we provide our clients are going to be things like listing e-alerts. So that's basically sending property updates to clients to drive them back to their branded website so that they're staying top of mind. That tends to be the number one source of referral traffic for our clients. And then you've got automation plans. We call them smart drip plans. They're going to help automate some of the emails that you're sending out to convey your value proposition. You've got automated text messages. That tends to be the biggest way to get responses that we see nowadays. It's all those millennials and their cell phones nowadays. But then the last thing is just staying on top of the calls that you need to be making too, because that's how appointments are set. We see a lot of our clients leveraging the automated text messaging in these plans to get responses to set up an appointment for a call. And once they have that call, they can better qualify them and see if they're a viable prospect and where they fit into, the buying life cycle or selling life cycle.
That's really interesting to know that texting is becoming more a part of that automated process, and
Yeah.
that getting measurable results from it. That's really important to understand. How are these tactics functioning for you? You need to get data back.
Right. Yeah.
So, is that something that Boomtown customers are talking about, of understanding the performance?
Yeah, absolutely. We tend to have a very vibrant community of owners. They stay involved with each other. They're always kind of talking amongst each other. I've had an opportunity to be the community manager for our owners for the past 3 years. So it's nice to see them kind of talk to each other and share tactics that they're using to get the most out of some of the tools, and see which maybe specific bits of copy yield the best results in some of the follow-up campaigns. On the back end, within our system in particular, there's all sorts of analytical tools and reporting dashboards to provide insights on what campaigns are operating at a high level, what leads are responsive, et cetera. So yeah, it's definitely a big conversation, something that our clients are always talking about because they want to continue to refine and improve. So yeah, definitely.
That's great. And so we've got, we talked about the generating phase, right?
Mhm.
And then we talked about nurturing. And so then, of course, there's converting.
Yeah.
How are they, what should they be thinking about in terms of converting? What are the conversations you're seeing? Let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. So, the conversion's the big part of it. Obviously you want to get the lead where they're willing to work with you. Now you have to focus on creating an amazing experience and freeing up time so that you can actually work with the client. So that's, now we're coming full circle where you still have to have some systems and technologies in place to continue moving your funnel forward and continue the nurturing phase of the leads that you're receiving. There are a lot of great technology and tools out there that really allow you to stay organized through the transaction process. Having a piece of technology that allows you to integrate with a couple of different best-in-class solutions is going to go a long way in making sure that you're taking great care of your clients, while also having some of the upfront nurturing and qualifying tools to stay on top of that. I think a big part of converting as well is just keeping an eye on your past clients too. So once you've closed, what are you doing after the fact? Do you have some past client follow-up in place once they have finalized the sale? I think something that we talked about in our pre-call were some of the statistics with NAR, where in 2017, it was 67% of an agent's business came from referral sources. And in 2018, that dropped down to 38%. So to me, that says a couple of things. You've got maybe some agents dropping the ball in their past client follow-up or their sphere follow-up. So taking some of those ideas that we talked about for online leads and applying them to, your sphere or past client business. How can you continue to nurture and stay in touch with them so you don't fall into that 38% of people, or 38% that are getting referral business? It should be more than that. or that more people are finding leads from other sources as well. And I think that's, again, what we talked about initially. So it's probably a combination of those two, more people looking to online sources, in addition to people maybe not doing as good a job as they can with generating business from their sphere and past client network.
Right. Those statistics blow me away to see
Yeah.
that fall off of business from your sphere. And I wonder, do you think the economy is a factor in that the housing market has been pretty robust for the last, 5 years, that agents don't have to nurture their existing clients because they're getting new ones in?
Yeah, absolutely. I think when you get caught in your whirlwind of, working with your clients and trying to stay on top of everything, you're not doing a good job with your past clients. You're so busy just trying to keep up with the day to day. So you've got to figure out how to solve that problem. Fortunately, there are a lot of great ways to do that, but I think that's a great point. I think you just have to figure out how to stay on top of everything, and that's the challenge of a real estate agent, really.
Yeah, and I feel like it's going to be more apparent in the coming years because everyone's sniffing around a market shift, right? Everyone's
Mhm.
saying it's coming. This is a cycle. Things are
Yeah,
changing, and so that skill set of nurturing your sphere of keeping those relationships fresh is coming back. They're going to need it.
yeah. So, we try and help with that with our clients by, as we've continued to keep an eye on the shift and how our clients have become continuously busy. Traditionally we've said we'll provide some technology that will allow you all to effectively nurture and qualify the leads that we're generating for you. Nowadays, we're shifting our focus just a little bit to create a service that will maybe do some of that for them. So we acquired Real Contact towards the end of last year and have been putting a lot of time and energy into creating a concierge program that will assist our clients in following up and nurturing and qualifying the leads so that they can focus on their day-to-day. So that's something that we definitely try and be cognizant of and are trying to help our clients with through an extended service offering, through what we're calling success assurance. So it's been pretty powerful. I think we've seen some tremendous results early on through this program, and I think it's to that point. These agents are just a little too busy in their day to day to effectively keep up with the demands required to nurture and qualify incoming leads, those top of funnel leads. It's a challenge.
That is. Mac, are there some things that you would want agents to ask themselves as they're evaluating, what activities are going to give them the most value for their time?
Yeah.
What should they be thinking about?
It's a really good question. That's you can go pretty deep there. I think they should be asking themselves, do they want to be a real estate agent and have that freedom that they got into the business for in the first place? Or do they want to build a predictable and reliable real estate business? And if the answer is the latter, then they want to put a lot of thought capital into how they're building a business and thinking like a marketer to build a predictable run of sales looking 6 months, 8 months, 2 years into the future. And I think that starts with looking at how they're going to generate leads, what sources are going to be the most viable for them in their market, how they're going to qualify and nurture those leads that are coming through. Do they need to hire staff? Do they need to find an outsourced service and software? But they need to try and answer and solve for that problem so that they continue to have consistent results month over month and produce at a high level. So that tends to be where we try and work with our clients, is shift from just being a day-to-day agent that's stuck in the grind to how can we help you evolve and shift into a predictable real estate business and not just be an agent.
Yeah, I think that's, the word that keeps coming out is predictable, which is
Mm-hmm.
one word that few agents will say apply to their business, or to even their day to day. And so anything that Boomtown can do to lend predictability to an agent's business, I think would be amazing. And so one thing I keep hearing from you that I find really interesting is this community that Boomtown has. Talk a little bit about that and how people should think. What do they need to know about that community?
Yeah. So, the Boomtown community, I'm very fortunate to work with some incredible clients from across the country. But, I think it's kind of an unspoken benefit of becoming a Boomtown client is you're automatically exposed to a lot of the top minds in real estate from across the country. And we've structured it in a way where we're encouraging some of our top clients that have been through the trials and tribulations of growth and building a real estate business, where they're getting involved on a daily basis to help answer questions, to maybe mentor and coach some of the other agents that are trying to figure things out on their own. So, likewise, we focus a lot of our business capital on investing into our services team. So on the flip side, we try and focus on our client community so that it's self-sustaining, and so that knowledge is being shared from the top minds down to our newest clients as well. So, we take great pride in making sure that our clients have every way to learn, whether that be through the community or through our services team.
That's really exciting. And I know, especially the Inman audience, they're all really hungry for that kind of knowledge and looking for partners that are going to give that to them. So that's great to know.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Cool.
Yeah. We
Excellent.
love that. We love seeking and sharing knowledge. It's one of our core values. So, I'm just thankful for the opportunity to be here and chat with you. And, I love learning from Inman as well. I look at all of your articles and read through as many as I can on a daily basis. So, yeah, it's awesome.
That's great to know. That's really great to know. So to wrap up, we want folks who've just watched this conversation to come away with thinking about leads. And, some of the keywords we want them to remember are diverse sources.
Absolutely.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Timing. That, the right touch to the right person at the right time. And then, balancing the systems and having that airtight system in place to help them monitor every life cycle stage of their lead.
Right. Yeah. Like the balance is going to be different for everyone. Some organizations may have a really strong sales team where they're set up in a way where they can nurture and feed opportunities to agents. Others might be a really high productive solo agent with maybe an admin or assistant where they need some assistance and some outsourced lead follow-up and techniques. So, again, it's just kind of taking a look inside and understanding where you are at your business, what your vision is for your growth, and making some decisions from there. But yeah, we're always eager to talk to any hungry agents that are looking to grow and learn and improve what they're doing and improve their lives in a big way.
That's fabulous. Well, excellent. Well, Mac, thank you.
Yeah.
For being in the hot seat. It wasn't too painful, I hope.
No.
So, good. Well, thank you again. It was a great conversation. Thanks for helping our audience grow their business. And, everybody have a great day.
Yeah, thanks, Lauren. And quick plug, we will share a little link to our product tour in the comments. So if anyone is interested in seeing what Boomtown's all about, we'd love to have an opportunity to show you and get in touch with you. So check that out. Be on the lookout for that in the comments. And otherwise, I hope to join you again in the future, Lauren. Really appreciate your time, and thank you for having me.
You got it. Take care.
Take care.